Hello, my beautiful besties. How's everybody doing? I hope you are all having an amazing week. So today I thought would be like just a very different video. I thought we could just sit down and chat as friends and talk about menopause. I know a lot of us are going through it. A lot of us have been through it, and some might be just looking for answers. I think it's I don't know, a topic that we should all be able to talk about freely and openly without embarrassment. And like me, I kind of searched for other people to talk about what they were going through, just to validate what I was going through, my feelings, outbursts, all of that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And, it'd be great to talk about it in the comments afterwards. So if that seems like something you're going to enjoy, something that you would like just to hear another perspective on, please continue watching because we're about to get into all that right now. So yeah, this is going to be a very laid back video, but I am going to share everything that I have gone through, everything that I'm still going through with this menopause. And I think we should probably dive back when I think it started. I'm going to place a video here of when I started talking about it. It was like, I think it was over 2 years ago I had found the video, and yeah, I'll place that here if you want to go check that out. But looking back, I think I started my menopause in my 40s. I'm 54 now, and I have not had my cycle in 4 years. So when I think I started going through, I guess it would be the symptoms of menopause, I was in my 40s. Like, I'm going to guess like 46, because I was in Virginia, because I remember distinctly that I made an appointment with a gynecologist here or down there, because I was just having some of the night sweats. It wasn't as severe as it got, but they were starting. My libido had just gone completely away. So that was the beginning. So that was really only it. And I would say like my menstrual cycle was heavier. It just wasn't consistent, I guess. So that's when it started, I think, really. And then that went on for 4 years, and every year it seemed like it got worse. The menstrual cycle, I was having two a month. I would skip a month. I was having two or three. The other symptoms were getting worse, the hot flashes, everything. So I would say when I hit 50 is when, yeah, it was just full blown. And then, the menstrual cycle stopped completely. Now, when that happened, yeah, the hot flashes, my son's wedding, I could not stop sweating. It was just profusely sweating. It was just awful. And it ruined the day for me. I the kids had a blast, and I tried to have as much fun as possible, but it really ruined the day because I could not stop perspiring. And of course, it was right out of COVID. So it gets in the way. It's embarrassing. You're just trying to not sweat, especially if you're at an event and your hair is just sticking to your face, it's getting flat, your makeup's running off. It's very, very frustrating. A lot of times I would go shopping and just break out in a sweat. And again, it's embarrassing because people either look at you like you're sick, or like, oh my gosh, you're just disgusting that you're sweating, it's so bad. And then I started bringing like a little handheld fan with me, and I'll place a couple little links down in the description box of things that I used. I even had one that you plug into your phone, so it wasn't as obvious, so I could just kind of, I don't know, put my phone up on the cart just right, and the fan would hit me, and it really helped. So there are things like that that help, but yeah, it doesn't take it away at all. So that's very normal. I'm sure that's a very common one. But then I started having these outbursts, just rage, just I could feel it. The littlest thing would just set me off, and it was ridiculous. I mean, there was a time that I literally wanted to get in my car and just drive to, I don't know where. I don't know where. I was just going to drive and just get away from all the noise. And It was really, really bad. And I remember, in that video that I talked about, that I came home and I just threw everything off my dresser onto the floor. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was going to crawl out of my skin, is the only way I could put it. I just literally could not control the anger, frustration, and just outbursts. That's the only thing that I can put my finger to it. And I think what happened is I kept it in for so long that when it finally boom, exploded, it exploded pretty bad. And my mom, she talked with me, and I went and made an appointment with the doctor and stuff. And they gave me some stuff to take, and they gave me some cream for the libido, and it was an estrogen cream. And I remember, I don't know if I just kind of worked it out myself, or that rage, once I got that out of my system, I just kind of really controlled it better. But there was still that I want to crawl out of my skin effect throughout, periodically the next couple years. And then that kind of disappeared too. It got a lot better. So through the 4 years, I would say like my worst symptoms for me were the outrage, because that was really hard to control, and you can't control the hot flashes. And when I say hot flashes, it feels, if you're just starting to go through it, it's very normal. It literally feels like your whole body has been lit with a fire inside. It's like that deep, I mean, I can't even explain it, like a burning sensation throughout. It starts from somewhere and then just rises until it reaches the head. So that is very common. The night sweats will just be night sweats. But yeah, the burning, you can't control that. And I will tell you too, don't be, if you're just starting, your symptoms may not be as severe. You might not have any. Some people skate through menopause without any form of, I don't know, I guess, side effect from it. I mean, they are so lucky. I'm jealous. They're blessed. They don't even realize how blessed they are. But I do want to mention really quick, if you are having these hot flashes, I just ran into some skincare products that I think are going to help. I just put it in the video prior to this one. It was the one on Monday. So if you want to go look at it, but it says a product by Turtur. These are all cooling skincare products. And, I just, when I heard Robert Walsh talk about these, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is going to be absolutely perfect for us girls on menopause. And let me just tell you, I've had this on my face because I did that video just prior. I've had it on for over an hour, maybe 2 hours, and I still can feel like that cooling sensation. But anyway, I think it's really almost like, oh gosh, I can't even explain it. It's very scary. As I was getting dizzy spells. The brain fog is real. I mean, it's to the point where it scares you, you're like, "Oh my gosh, am I going through early stages of dementia?" Because you will literally walk into a room and forget why you're there. I mean, that happens, all the time. Even as a kid, I remember that happening, or as a teenager, and it probably was around my menstrual cycle if you really think about it. But no, it's very, I could just be like this, and I almost feel like the room was spinning. I stumble over my words, or I'll be talking and I'm like, and I have to stop. I'm like, what is the word that I just was going to use, So I think for me, that's what I'm going through. I have read that a lot of other people talk about this brain fog, and I think that is probably the worst, if you ask me, because that's lingering for me. Anxiety, I have literally become almost paranoid on a lot of things. I have learned to control that one too. I honestly, you guys, I pray when I start getting these crazy thoughts in my head, just either negative thoughts or thoughts that situations that could possibly never happen, like, okay, living here in the desert, I I fear rattlesnakes. I feel like they're going to be everywhere. And it's just, you can't live like that. So, but I will sit here and think of scenarios of how to get myself out of that situation if it happens. Just create crazy thoughts is the only thing I can think of that enter my head. And I don't know if that happens with everybody. If it does, please let me know in the comments. I could be alone on this one. I might be, so that's why I'm doing this video too. I want to know if I'm alone in this, but the anxiety, it almost can be debilitating. See, I almost forgot the word. I think that's even the word. It might not be, but you guys know. It really could stop you in your tracks of just getting through every day. Yeah, so that got bad. The kids even confronted me a few times on that. And that's when I knew it was bad. Usually they just won't say anything. And yeah, they said it a couple times. Even when I was coming down to visit, they could see there was a difference in me because you guys, I am the most, I don't know, laid back, not laid back. I've never been laid back, but I'm go lucky. I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. I love to adventure and go out. And that's, started slowing down. I found myself being very nervous to go into big crowds. Yeah, it just, and not that I thought something was going to happen. I just felt very overwhelmed and, the anxiety, my heart would start racing. I would break out in the sweat. So that's what I'm saying, like this brain fog, this feeling of confusion, just not yourself. I saw this, I don't know if it was Instagram or some, short, and I actually placed it in my Instagram stories, because it just really hit home. And if I can find it, I'll place it somewhere around here, maybe just play it right here.
Husbands, I'm going to tell you the 5 things that your wife is going through in menopause that you're not seeing and you need to know about. Number 1, you're not seeing the grief that she's carrying. You're not realizing that she misses herself. She feels like she's not just losing estrogen and progesterone and testosterone hormones. She's literally losing her identity and she doesn't recognize herself in the mirror anymore. You're not seeing the anxiety and depression that she's carrying. You're not seeing the fact that 1 in 10 women even have suicidal thoughts, that 20% have clinically depressive symptoms. You're not seeing the fact that when she gets cortisol spikes at night, she's got her back turned to you at bed. She's dealing with anxiety that's keeping her up, leading to insomnia, which ultimately results in brain fog and even memory loss. You're not seeing the moments that she's going through where she's wondering what's going on with her, where she doesn't understand what's happening to her body and her mind because doctors were not trained to support her on this and they are not giving her the help that she needs.
Yes, it's true. We look in the mirror, we don't even recognize ourselves anymore. Literally, not like, oh, you just say that, it's a saying. No, literally, like I do not recognize my body when I look in the mirror. I rarely will even do it anymore because I will avoid the mirror at all costs because it is completely a change. The weight gain, the bloating, the I can't explain, like the midsection is just like just horrible. The aches and pains, I think honestly a lot of it that's with my back, my sciatica. I am going to go see a doctor maybe about epidurals for that. That's a whole other situation, but the pain, there is joint pain for sure that comes with that. So there's so many symptoms that us women go through, and I swear, I think I got every single symptom that's up there has hit me at one point or another in these 8 years that I've gone through this menopause cycle. Now, I will tell you that, again, on its own, some of the symptoms have decreased, and almost gone away completely. The hot flashes through night, I rarely get that anymore. Every once in a while, and it seems like the same time every day, it's in the morning, I get that, that heat, overwhelming of heat, but it's not as intense as it used to be. So I think that's gotten better. The outburst for sure has gotten better. I need a drink here. I'm doing a lot of talking. The outbursts have gotten better for sure. I'm definitely more patient. I could find myself with Daryl and even my mom. Like any little thing, I would just, I'm like, I would be so mean and defensive, but I think that's gotten better. I feel like it's gotten better. So, yeah, that part has gotten better. The brain fog, it's getting better. The joint pain, we'll see. But I will tell you, I have started HRT. I avoided it they tried to put it on or put me on it 2 years ago, and I denied it because of the side effects. And um, especially because I'm on so many pills, you guys. I'm on high blood pressure pills, cholesterol pills, my sugar. That's another thing I think is with the menopause is that my sugar levels had reached pre-diabetic numbers. So I had to go on metformin. So I take that. I take something for my Crohn's, I take something for the anxiety. Yeah, it's just there's so many medications, and the Crohn's medication, you got to be really careful of what you mix with it. So anyway, I denied the HRT because of blood clotting, and my mom has history of blood clotting. Actually, when she had me, she had to have some veins removed because of the clotting. So I just was very nervous about that. But then when I got here, I saw a doctor, and she told me about a patch. Again, what I'm about to tell you and disclose, I'm no doctor. I'm putting the disclosure out. I'm no doctor. I'm not suggesting anybody use these things. I'm not suggesting. All I'm doing is telling you what I'm using and what is my week. I've been on it for 3 weeks. So what I've gone through in the 3 weeks of the products I'm using, and these were all prescribed by a medical doctor. Disclosure, disclosure released. Okay. So she had told me about a patch, and she said, even though on the packaging they have to put the warning. She said, but you will not get a blood clot. I promise you, because of the way it absorbs. The pill is just different than, putting the patch on your body. So she had convinced me that that's not going to happen. And so I finally agreed to start it. Now, she prescribed it. I got the medication. It still took me 3 weeks to get the nerve to even start it. Everybody kept saying, did you put your patch on? Did you start it? And I kept going, oh, no, I forgot. I'll do it next week. And I kept putting it off. Well, finally I did it, and I've been on it for 3 weeks. And let me just tell you what I've gone through. So the patch that I'm using, it's called estradiol, I believe, transdermal system. It delivers 0.0375 milligrams a day. Now, how you use this is I put mine on Sunday, and then you change it on Wednesday, and you just keep doing that cycle. And this patch does not come off until you take it off. I mean, it sticks on there through showers, through everything. So whatever the adhesive is, you don't have to worry about it falling off, because it's not going to fall off. Now, I do clean the area with alcohol really well before I apply it, so I make sure that there's no lotions or anything on my skin or oil, so that's probably helping. But anyway, and then she also put me on progesterone. That was the one I couldn't remember the other day. It's a 100 milligram a capsule, and I take one a day. And that's what I've been on. Now, the first week, what I felt, I really didn't have any side effects, I'm going to say, that I noticed, except maybe happiness. When you guys see me, when I talked about it in that one video, I felt more me. Is the only way that I could put it. But that was really the only thing I really noticed the first week. The second week, I noticed something with my appetite. I did notice that. I felt things that used to interest me food-wise weren't interesting. I wasn't finding that craving them, I put it that way. There was a few times I felt a little nauseous. I will say that. But other than that, again, I felt very uplifted. I felt motivated. I felt happy. I noticed that some of the aches and pains were disappearing or becoming, less intense. And now I'm on in the third week. I noticed that I would be hungry in the morning, but I would just want something small. At lunchtime, I this would be a normal meal for sure, and then some. I would go like just Panera Bread, for instance. I went there. I ordered the pick two, which is a soup, so it's just a cup of soup and a half a salad, a baguette or something that comes with it, or you can get chips or whatever you want. But anyway, I usually get a baguette and I would get a drink, and my mom and I would always get a cookie and would split it. Well, before I would eat all of that, and then probably could have ate her other half of her cookie, or went and bought another one. But anyway, that was a normal. I thought, oh, that was a pretty good portion. Well, I almost to the point where I am to the point I can only eat the soup and the baguette. I can't even think about touching the salad or the cookie. So I have found that my appetite decreased. Now the other day when we went to Prescott, not Prescott, Prescott. And I have found that this has happened a few times, that if I eat too much, I literally thought I was going to be sick. I really, really did. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ruin the day for the kids, and I fought it and I fought it. Then finally I went to the restroom and I'm like, okay, it's going to be coming back up. It's just going, I fought it and I was okay. And thank goodness I always have anti-nauseous pills on me at all times for my Crohn's, because a lot of times just that nausea would kick in. No, but this is a different nausea. I mean, I literally thought it was coming up because I felt so full. I felt like I ate a whole turkey dinner at Thanksgiving, and then some, I just felt, and I really didn't eat that much. We went to this restaurant. I had one taco. It was a very small, what are they, just fish taco. And I got some fries, and I only had like a little bit of the fries. And then, but what did me in is we went and got a latte, and a pumpkin latte. And I thought, oh my gosh, it just sat in my stomach. So anyway, my appetite has been decreased significantly. Things that nothing sounds good is the problem. And I don't know, I'm definitely going to call my doctor, but I guess that's why I'm talking to you guys. If anyone is on these things, did you experience that? Because I'm like, is it really coming from this medication, or something else could be possibly going on? But it's just kind of scary. I went from one extreme to the next. So I did look up online that it can be a side effects, but again, like, it's weird. It always seems like around lunchtime is when nothing sounds good. Dinner sometimes, it just depends, So I'm almost having to force myself to eat. And it's weird because I'm like, it's not like I'm on the Ozempics or anything like that, or nothing. I'm just taking HRT. So I'm very confused on that. So that has been my experience with HRT, or these two, the patch and what is this? I gotta learn how to say this, progesterone. That's it, progesterone. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know that's what, if you planned on getting on it, that could be, I think, a side effect is, which for me, right now, I'm not going to complain too much because I definitely needed to lose weight. I definitely need to get my sugar under control because, I mean, that was to the point they were talking about putting me on Ozempics or something like that. I mean, it was getting that severe. And because the metformin wasn't really working, she wanted to up my dose on that, but I'm going to try this first before I even do that. Anyway, you guys, oh, I forgot to tell you, but the main thing is my back. If you guys remember me talking about that in a previous video, I could not stand up straight. I could not walk very far, literally from my bedroom to the kitchen. It was a struggle. We went to Prescott. I walked everywhere for hours. I'm not going to say it was pain-free. No, I'm not going to say that. And I did take 2 Tylenol. But I was able to do it. and I wasn't profusely sweating because of the pain. It was just, it was there, it was there, but it was definitely something that I could ignore. Even before, like if I'd be walking, like I'd have to stop and like almost the only way I could put it is I get stuck. Like it almost felt like my joints got locked and I had to unlock them. So, and I didn't do that. I didn't have to stop and readjust my back. So, but I've been doing a lot of stretching at home too, as much as possible. I think that's really helping. So, yeah, there's a lot of things with the back, but I thought we would just talk about the menopause. Okay, the libido for sure has left the building, has completely left the building with me. Because honestly, and it's embarrassing, this is the embarrassing part, because a lot of people don't want to hear this, and I don't really like sharing it, but I have to because I think it's important. It's painful. It's very, very painful. And that's why I think she did give me that estrogen cream for there. Um, of course, I didn't do it. I'm definitely going to try that again, that route, just to see if that does help. But there's just so many things. It's like I want to address one thing at a time before that even enters the situation again. But I did want to tell you that is another symptom. If you're going through that, you will lose your libido. It can become very uncomfortable or painful, and I think it's because the cervix thins. I want to say they say, yeah. So at any rate, you guys, yeah, that is a bad side effect, and that's been going on for at least 2 years. But again, I have to address one thing at a time. And, I can't take everything in at once. But I thought, again, we should talk about this. This should be a subject that we should feel comfortable as women talking about and not be embarrassed. I'm trying to be as open as possible. I'm probably blushing tremendously right now. But again, I think prayer helps a lot. If you are religious, even if you're not, maybe try it. It just takes the noise out of my head, the weird scenarios that I kept coming into my head. I feel honestly like sometimes like that's just bad energy trying to get in, and praying just helps me. I just do that a lot lately, past couple years for sure. And I do feel like it really, really helps me. Um, Definitely see a doctor. If you're going, don't go through this alone, is what I'm telling you. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to act like everything's okay, because one day, just like me, you could just go boom, and be out of hand about it, and it's just not a good place to be. So it's always best. I wish I would have. I wish I would have sought help sooner. I wish I would have talked to even my mom sooner. I wish I would have talked to Daryl sooner. And there's probably 8,000 different things that I could talk about here that I've forgotten about that I can't remember, because that's memory loss, is another symptom. But I'm really hoping that this medication is going to help me. So far, again, I feel like it is. The kids did say that they see a difference in me. They see the old Laura starting to peek through, be happier. I'm not, um, I guess what I was doing is they would ask me to do something. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, that seems great. And then I'd go and I'd kind of just be like, yay, because I was there, put it that way. I was present, I was there, but I couldn't have fun because I was anxious. I was paranoid. I was brain fog. I was dizzy at times. And when that stuff would happen, it almost feels like you go through another panic attack, like, oh my gosh, am I going to pass away? Is something going on with me? So that it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. And I'm hoping this medication will silence that noise. It's for sure silenced the food noise for sure. And that could be in my head. I don't know, you guys, but for 3 weeks I've been on it. But this is what I've been going through, the symptoms or the side effects that's bringing. So I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. We'll find out. But yeah, you guys, I thought we should sit down, talk about this. Let me know in the comments anything that you have to share that might help somebody, help me. Just we're here all just to chat like girls. I love that. I love that about our community that we can do that and feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable putting it down in the comments, you can always follow me over on Instagram. I'll place my information here. You can always DM me over there. Nobody will see that comment except me. You can also follow me right here. I go by, I don't know which way it comes on, Laura Ochoa Fagelman on Facebook. You can always message me there. Again, if you just want it to be more private. All right, you guys, I am so happy that you're here. It's so nice to sometimes just get things off your chest, just to hear it come out. It's very therapeutic. I love talking to you guys. I love that you listen and lend your ear to me, and I'm here for you too. We are the best little community. I adore each and every one of you. All right, you guys, that it has been so far my 8 years of menopause journey. I'm sure I still have some years to go, but hopefully we can get this under control. I can't wait to see you guys again. I love you so much, and until next time.